Hello and welcome to this Axiom demo. Today we're going to take a look at painting. Specifically, three tools: the Painter tool, the Noise Painter tool, and the Biome Painter tool. Starting with the Painter tool, this tool allows you to paint blocks, like so. Very, very simple. You can change the block that you're painting over here. You can just type in andesite, hit enter, change it here. You can also adjust the parameters of a block. If a block has parameters, for example grass, we can set it to snowy. As for the options of this tool, they're very, very simple. Like pretty much every other tool, you can change the brush shape and radius. You can also mask surface. So by default, the Noise Painter will only paint blocks that are exposed to air. If you do not want this behavior, you can turn this off and then it will paint all blocks, even those below the surface. Next up, we have the Noise Painter tool, which is very, very complicated. I'm not going to get into all the settings. Suffice it to say, there's a lot that you can do with this tool. Going through just some of the settings, you can change the scale of the noise. So if you want the scale to be bigger or smaller, as you can see in this noise preview down here, the effect of that. You can change the type of the noise. There is simplex, which looks like this. Simplex is very, very similar to Perlin noise, if you're more familiar with that term. There is also Voronoi edges, which gives kind of like a spider web looking effect. In 3D, Voronoi edges can be a little bit weird. Sometimes you want to make it 2D, which sometimes can look a lot nicer. We also have Wally noise, which allows you to adjust these three parameters here. Again, not going to get too much into how exactly this works, but you can play around with these values and create some very interesting looking noises. We have Metaball noise, which creates kind of like this blobby sort of effect. You can adjust the range of these blobs to see how that changes the noise, as you can see inside this noise preview down here. Lastly, we have white noise, which is just standard white noise. Not much to see there. Most of the noises also allow you to octavate, so you can increase the number of octaves, play with the lacunarity, play with the gain, and you can see the effect of all of those things in the noise preview down here. You can adjust the seed. You can randomize the seed. You can play around with that. Now we come to blocks. So this is where you can adjust the blocks that are actually painted. So you can actually choose more than one block at once, which looks something like this. So you can paint like so. Now there are two modes. You can use block count mode. Block count mode essentially guarantees the amount of block you specify. So in here it's going to have exactly 50% stone and 50% granite. You can also switch this to threshold mode, which now it uses the raw threshold numbers, which depending on the effect you want to achieve, you might want to change the threshold mode just to get more precise control. And lastly down here, as you saw the entire time, there are some lovely graphs here so you can see the effects of the noise. These two graphs down here are particularly useful if you're trying to get a particular threshold amount. That's it for the Noise Painter tool. Lastly, we have the Biome Painter. So the Biome Painter allows you to very easily paint biomes. So right now I have Badlands selected. If we wanted to select something else, we could, for example, select the end, like this, and we can paint the end biome here. Let's go back to Badlands, and we start painting this. You can see that we get a biome preview, and we also can see the grass color changing. If you don't want to visualize the biomes, you can turn that off, and you can just paint directly here. There's also an option to fill vertically, so if you turn this on, the biome will be filled vertically, like so, which is mainly used if you don't care about 3D biomes or the biomes below. If you just want to set the biome, I'd recommend turning on fill vertically. And that's it for the painting tools. If you'd like to learn more about the other tools in Axiom, check out the other videos on this channel.